Hi, Sister Leah, and we're going to talk about our relationship with one another and how we go through the five principles of communication. Before we start that, I'd like to mention that we have a very strong bond with one another, but we also have a 15-year age gap, so our communication with each other is a lot different than with siblings who are closer in age. With that being said, the first principle is to be aware of your communication with yourself and others. How do you think we do that?
I think we do really well. Um, we are very open with each other. It's almost we have a almost mother and daughter bond as well as a sisterly bond because I feel like you can come to me for things rather than our mom. We just have that very open line, and it is slightly different just because um, I've had you since a baby at 15 years old, so the communication has changed. But I think that we, from a young age, had built an open link between us. And so that's just helped us with being sisters, but it's also helped us grow as friends. And we've kind of morphed more from like the motherly thing to a good, solid friendship, despite the age difference.
I definitely agree with that. I think that at some point she can definitely be more motherly and ask questions like, "Oh, where are you right now?" and stuff like that. But she is also one of my closest friends, I'd say, even though she's my sister. I can come to her with anything and talk to her about anything, and she can do it with me as well. So I think we have really good communication with each other in that aspect. Okay, principle 2 and 3 is how we effectively use and interpret verbal and nonverbal messages.
Um, so I think we are very good at reading each other. Um, I laugh because I was also um, her coach or one of her coaches last year during the volleyball season. And just because I know Savannah, I know her facial expressions, I know her attitude and how like I can easily say even without her talking, this is what's going on, or and I can like intercede or step in at that point, or I know what I can do to help fix it. Rather than some people who might see, oh, this person has this mad face, or like they interpret it wrong. I feel like we are very good at nonverbal cues just because I mean, obviously known each other for so long, but
Yeah, she definitely can reads me like the back of her hand. I could do anything and she'd know what was going on, which can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. But she's very good at that, and I think that's important to have in a relationship with each other.
especially if you're in a situation where you're uncomfortable or you don't want to speak up because you might have attention drawn to you or whatever, like I feel like it's good to have that nonverbal. So someone who can get you out of that is there to help rather than bringing more attention to the situation.
Yes, and she knows me very well, and I'm a shy person, and she is not. I wouldn't say. I w- she is, but she's also not. She'll speak up for herself, where I'm more of a I'll just kind of let it happen. The fourth principle is listen and respond thoughtfully to others.
This one I would say is kind of a big thing, especially because we do have that I am still your sister, but I'm also an adult. I'm a teacher, and so I'm an advocate for kids. So I have to really think through like how I respond to things. If she comes to me about something, to not, be biased towards one way or the other, and give her the best answers or advice that is most meaningful towards her, like what's going to help her the best. I would feel like it's not something where I can just sometimes I do tell you how I feel and what I think, but there's always the other side, on the I'll say, this is because I'm your sister, this is how I feel, but as an adult, this is also my side of it. So I feel like I give you both sides when it comes to that.
Yeah, she's good at telling me how she thinks, and and I like that a lot because obviously we're really close, and I would say we're almost the same people. And her telling me what she would do in that situation, it just really helps me out, especially if it's a situation where I really don't know what to do. If I have a situation like that, she's always the first person I go to. The fifth principle is appropriately adapt messages to others.
So appropriately adapting anything. Um, I feel like we do well. I do, I would say sometimes I have to be like, oh yeah, she's my sister. She's only 16. So like how would respond to somebody my age or a different friend is sometimes different than how I would respond to her just because, the goal in life is to shape people in a positive direction, good pathway or whatever. And um, just the way her life has been, I feel like we have really tried hard to shape your life in a positive direction. I feel like so.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like I'm very try to be very mindful of how we respond to stuff. I mean, obviously sometimes we say things, but also sisterly bonds it stays there. So I think we're just good. We're just good at that. It's a
Yeah.
better
I think overall we just have really good communication.
yeah, and like we know when someone like when each other's not feeling the best about something or they're being grumpy or whatever. Like
Yeah.
we don't really take it too personally. We're just honest most of the time.
Yeah, we are very honest with each other.
And I think that does help just because we know each other as that and we know, hey, you're not saying this to be mean or whatever. Like this is we
Yeah.
can go to each other and be like, this is why, or no one's gonna give us bad info.
Yeah. I agree. So that is our relationship and how we use the 5 principles of communication. And that is it. Bye.